All right, here we are, part 4. And if you haven't seen part 1, 2, and 3 of Jesus, then I recommend you watch those first because, like the other videos, I'm going to come back and I'm going to reevaluate some of the numbers we've used before. And that's necessary to help kind of tie in this whole mathematical process that I've been going through. So, we're going to pick up where I said earlier in the video at the very end of the Bible in Revelations 22:7. I'm going to go ahead and turn to that. I mean, I know it by memory, but I'm going to show you something as well. All right, so Revelations 22:7 is a mathematical code, pi. Right here, 22:7 says, "Behold, I come quickly." And if you'll notice, the red letters are supposed to represent the words of God, or Christ, words of Christ and God. "Behold, I come quickly." And then it says, "Blessed is he that keepeth the sayings of the prophecy of this book." Why is it that the red part is what's red and the rest of it isn't? Besides the fact that I just read the red part to you, why is it just red? "Behold, I come quickly." It's almost like he's saying, look, which means take a little deeper look into this. Maybe he's trying to show us something. And that passage, like I said, I hate to sound like a broken record, but 22:7, if you take 22 divided by 7, the resulting answer is 3.14, which we know today as pi, which we'll be covering in this video. But more or less, we got to focus on the words he said. He says, look, I'm coming quickly. All right. So I've been thinking over this, and I'm like, he did mention that he's the light of man, he's the light of this world, he's the light of God. So what is quicker than the speed of light that we know of in the physical properties of this universe as we know it in the flesh? I'm going to go with light. He's the light of mankind, the light of God. He says he's on his way quickly. And speed of light, man, that's quick. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a look here at the speed of light. And you'll see it's 299,792,458 meters a second, or maybe it's miles. I think it's meters. All right. So what we're going to do here is we're going to go to the pi digit finder, and I already have it entered in, 299,792,458. And we're going to see where this actually lies in the never-ending segment of pi, starting off with 3.14. It's probably going to take about 8 seconds to calculate. It's pretty far in there, quicker than I thought. All right, so now it appears in pi right here, okay? And it starts at the 623,556,156 digit in pi. That's pretty far into the sequence of pi. But here's what we're going to do. We're going to just add those bottom digits up where it falls into the sequence of pi. And it's going to look something like this. Okay. So what is it again? It falls into the 623, 556, 556, 156 digit of pi. And we're just going to add those up like this. And the resulting answer is 1335. Sorry, I kind of scrunched in at the bottom there, or at the end. But it's also a word in Latin. If you simply translate this to numbers of the English, or letters of the English alphabet, 1 is A, 3 is C, 3 is C, 5 is E. And it kind of says ace. It's got the extra C in there, but remember in the last video, the ace being Jesus Christ, the ace represents unity. But if you read it this way, it's a Latin word that says ecca. And if you look up the meaning of ecca in Latin, like I'm going to do while you stare at my handsome mug, ecca in Latin means behold, observe, look. Just like the pi verse in Revelation 22:7 says, behold, look, I come quickly. So 1335 will now be applied to what is called the phi totient calculator. It's a different form of mathematics. You got pi, then you got phi, the golden ratio. But what we're going to do is take a look at the number 1335, and I'm going to type it in here in the totient calculator. And the totient is basically all of the positive integers added up that lead up to 1335. And if you put 1335 like so, it becomes 704. And if you watched in my other Jesus video, get the focus right here. I hate this camera. Sorry. All right, there we go. Anyways, like I was saying, what was I saying? 704. If you take 704 and you translate this to English letters again, the seventh letter of the alphabet is G. And you got 0, which looks like this, an O. And then you got 4, which is D. You have God. You can also take the value of Jesus Christ, 888, and you just put a little X right there. And the resulting answer is also 704. Alright, so I'm going to put this down right now. And I'm going to go break up my cats because they're fighting. And they're making weird noises in the background. I'll be right back. Yeah, see, this is the culprit. This is CC. Just CC. You can translate that as 33. He was kind of like special in the litter because he was the runt and he's cross-eyed. Which kind of complements the way that I do my mathematics sometimes. So, let me get a drink here. Alright. So, before that butthead interrupted me. Thanks, Cece. You're the best. 704. 8 times 88 is also 704. And I received 704 by applying it through the totient calculator from 1335, which backwards reads Eka, which means behold. So there you go. God in the speed of light entered into pi. You take all the digit decimal places, add them together, you get a word that says behold. So you look into it, you apply it to phi, the totient calculator, and you get 704, which equals God. You see how easy this is? Alright, so now what we're going to do is we're going to look a little deeper into light on the biblical aspect. When you look into Strong's Concordance, you have the word light, and it is number 219. So 219 means a light, and you can also take 219 and you can turn it into a word. Second letter of the alphabet is B. Then you have 1, which is A. And then you have 9, which is I. Okay? And it's Bay, Bai, something like that. It's also an anagram, might I add, of Abi, which is Hebrew for father. Alright, so just like that in light, 219, we have a word which is Bai, which is an anagram of Abi, which is father. But if you look up the meaning of the word Bai, and this is where we're going to spread out a little bit. If you look up the meaning of the word Bai, it actually is a Chinese word, which means white. White, blank, clear, bright, plain, snowy, and unannotated, Arctic, gratuitous. So basically, it means like snow, purification, things like that in the Bible. Bai is actually also a name, and we're going to look up the meaning of this name. Bum, 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 bum. Somebody got a visit from the Holy Ghost. And you look up the meaning of Bai, and it means pure. Pretty neat, right? 219, the light, white, bright, pure. But it doesn't stop there. Because now, what we're going to do is erase this. Now that we've got situated with the light of God, now we're going to go look up the Fibonacci sequence, which is another math thing. All right? And we're going to look at the 2/19th Fibonacci sequence, which is right here. And there's nothing spectacular, but look, if you take one above it, you're going to see the number 219. Let me get this focused right here. See, there's the 2/19th Fibonacci sequence. If you go up to the 218, you have 4444, immediately followed by the white, bright light of God, which is 4444. So now we're going to look up the meaning of 4444, and I'll show you a little mathematical thing with it too real quick. But if you go look up what word is in the Bible 4,444 times, you have God. Exactly 4,444 times in the King James Bible. Not only does it appear 4,444 times in the King James Bible, it's also the fourth word in the King James Bible, the 44th word of the King James Bible, the 444th word of the King James Bible, and it's also the 4,444th word of the King James Bible. Now that's impressive. Very impressive for a book that was just written by a bunch of men. Can you tell that I get a little bitter when I hear people say that about the Bible? All right. So what we're going to do now is take 4 times 444. 4 times 444. And the resulting answer is, listen up, America, 1776. Which, if you know your American history, which about 80% of our country does not, you would know that 1776 is a significant date in American history. It represents freedom, independence. From what was seen as a tyrannical presence. So, freedom from a tyrannical presence, 1776. What a great debut. Spitting all over myself. Yeah, it humbles you. Also, I wanted to point out the value of the phrase, in the beginning God created, is 219. All right? We're going to go up here, and we're also going to check out the phrase of 219, but we're going to spell it slightly different. Sounds the same, just spelled different. Equals 444. And then we can also just look up the name Jesus. And it also bears a value of 444 in English gematria, which is nothing more than mathematical calculations. There's no divination involved or anything like that. So I wanted to point out real quick, a viewer on one of my older Jesus videos wanted to hear my opinion on numbers, because some people believe that numbers is demonic. As I showed you right there, it's just completely evil, you know. But it's like a double-edged sword, just like anything else in this world. The Bible can be used for evil if it falls into the wrong hands and it's translated by the wrong person over a group of multiple people, like Global Witness, for example. So things like this, you got to take into consideration, like divination techniques, witchcraft, sorcery, where you got to take like 3 candles, 2 chicken bones, 6 bat wings, stuff like that. That would be like using numbers for a evil demonic purpose. You can also use a Ouija board for an example. That would be speaking or divination because you're speaking to the dead, and it involves numbers. Just because it's letters doesn't mean it's not numbers. Numbers are still letters, and letters are numbers. But I hope that kind of answers your question. You can use numbers for good and evil. I choose to use them to help explore the nature of God and where He hides at. So 4444 is 1776. What we're going to do now is go back to pi, and we're going to enter in 1776 and see where it falls into the pi digit ratio. And you're going to see right here where 1776 falls into the 889th digit, which is 1776. So what I'm going to do is remind you of a few Bible passages and a few Bible sayings. The first one is, the Lord our God is one, as in O-N-E. And He has won also in the sense of W-O-N, when He crucified Himself and shed His blood. He defeated Satan then. He won already. So now what we're going to do is take the place in which it fell into pi, which is the 889th, and then we have 1776, which is where it falls into its place. All right? And I'm going to quote another Bible passage. And this one, it's from the Old Testament, but it says, I, the Lord, create light and darkness. I make peace and create evil. I, the Lord, do all of these things. Darkness, evil would be negativity. Good, positivity, righteousness is plus, all right? So remember, the Lord is one, and He creates the darkness and the light. Who sees it? I'll give you 5 seconds. 5 very long seconds. So the Lord is one. That's the Lord. The darkness and the light. If you take 889 minus 1, and if you take 1 plus 776, that's right.